So I got a question for you. What's wrong with the Toronto Raptors? Now this right here is the Toronto Raptors team that made some overhauls throughout the summer, and I made some predictions before the season started that a lot of the Toronto Raptors fans just did not like. But now we sit here as the Toronto Raptors have started this season 0-2, and now the question has to be asked, is there something wrong with the Toronto Raptors? Are they going to rebound from this? Are they still a legitimate contender? Listen, when you lose a game or two, that's fine. It's early in the season. We got 70 games left. But to me, I'm saying something that I don't necessarily like about this Toronto Raptors team. This is something that I actually talked about in my previews for the Toronto Raptors for the 2021 season. Now, we're going to dive into this because if this trend continues, the Raptors are in for a long, long season. Now, be very clear. I like this Raptors squad. I'm high on the young team. I'm high on the coaching. I'm high on this Raptors team. But I'm seeing something that's very, very troubling. So stick around to the end of this video because we're going to dive into it. And then I got to touch on, I've got to touch on the LA Clippers. You do not want to miss my take on the LA Clippers and their historic loss. Stick around to the end. Let's get into it.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, if you're new on this channel here, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic. I'm absolutely addicted to basketball. Now, just like everybody, I've got my own opinions. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but also be sure that you hit that bell notification and make sure you turn on to all notifications. That way you'll be updated whenever I drop new videos, which is every Monday and Friday, normally either 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, we're going to dive right into this because this is going to be a very quick video. We're going to get in and out today because we got some basketball to watch, right? Basketball season is back, and I don't know about you, but I'm extremely excited to finally have the NBA back. But my Toronto Raptors fans, which I've got on this channel here, I've got a lot of Toronto fans. Shout out to Jurassic Park, shout out to Toronto, Canada, and all the Raptors Nation fans that have been following and supporting the channel. But I gotta ask you all a question. From what you've seen, because when I made my preseason predictions for the Toronto Raptors, I had them seeded as the 6th seed in the East. And I got a lot of flack for that. I took a lot of heat in the comment sections of those videos because a lot of Raptors fans thought I was crazy for putting them at the 6th seed. So what are you seeing? From what you saw when they played the Pelicans in Game 1, a young up-and-coming team, then they played the San Antonio Spurs in Game 2, another team that's not as old and as veteran as they used to be, so a relatively younger team, right? They've got some DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, but relatively still a young team. Neither one of those teams were playoff teams last year. Neither one of those teams have, a top 5 player in the game on their squad. So this is a Toronto Raptors team that's a veteran squad. This should be better than those teams. I predicted them to be better than both of those teams. What's wrong? You lose to the New Orleans Pelicans 113-99. You gave up 113 points to the Pelicans. And then turn around in your next game when you're going to rebound from that and you lose to the San Antonio Spurs 119-114. You go from giving up 113 points to 119 points to the San Antonio Spurs. Something's not right about that. But we got to dig a little deeper because losing, once again, that's one thing. Losing both those games, it's one thing. But there's similarities in how they lost both of these games, and it's an issue that I saw at the beginning of the season. Number one, rebounding. They got out-rebounded in both of their games. The Pelicans out-rebounded them by 8, and the Spurs out-rebounded them by 10. Now, we're going to get into why I think that is. But it doesn't stop there. Points in the paint. The Pelicans had 32 points in the paint, while the Spurs put up 50 points in the paint. So you're letting teams out-rebound you, and you're letting teams eat in the paint. Look at the percentages that the Pelicans and the Spurs shot from the field. And we're going to get to the bottom of this. The Pelicans shot 52.5% from the field, while the Spurs put up 47% from the field. Now you put all that together, what does that say? Here's the issue, what I talked about from the Toronto Raptors at the beginning of the season. When you lose Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, which a lot of Toronto fans, for whatever reason, I guess, wanted to make themselves believe that by adding Aaron Baines and adding Alex Len, that you didn't have a drop-off on your front court. Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka were your two best interior defenders. When you lose that kind of post presence, that kind of rim protection, it's going to hurt you. But it doesn't just hurt you there, it hurts you on the glass, and it also hurts you even on the perimeter as well. Think about this. In game one against the Pelicans, they gave up 19 3-pointers. They gave up 19 threes. In game 2, they gave up 14 threes to the Spurs. So not only are you allowing teams to eat in the paint, you're also allowing them to hit from the three. Why is that? Because when your big men can't really hold the paint down, you gotta collapse. You're collapsing. And when you're collapsing, you're now weaker on the perimeter. The Toronto Raptors defense has to improve. Now, Nick Nurse, to me, I still love his coaching ability. I don't doubt him 1 second. And I don't even doubt the talent on this Raptors team. Even though I think they've taken a slight step back, which, listen, Masai Ujiri is a great GM, one of the best in the game. So I know he'll rectify the situation with probably a mid-season move. But the reality is, as they stand today, this is not a contending team that the Raptors have. It's just not. I know that hurts my Raptors fans. I know that hurts. This is not the 2019 team you had with Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, those veterans, those champions. This isn't that team. This is a younger version that is now trying to be led by two guys who are trying to really make a stand in the NBA that they can be the guys that we think that they could be. Particularly number one, Pascal Siakam. Bubble Siakam was not it. 2021 Siakam thus far is not it. He's averaging 18 points on 42% from the field, shooting 25% from three with 4.5 turnovers per game. It's a small sample size. Only 2 games played. But guess what? The Raptors in a situation where their schedule doesn't get much easier. You had 2 games to kind of tune up, get you know, and like I said, even if they had lost those games, but it was different, I can understand. But you don't allow the Pelicans to shoot 52% from the field, hit 19 threes, out-rebound you, kill you inside, and then follow that up with another bad performance to the Spurs. That just can't happen. So, what's the solution to this, Raptor fan? I mean, you tell me, let me know in the comment section. Are you worried? Do you still think that this Raptor team is a legit contender? I don't. I'm not necessarily worried, even though I knew they weren't going to be a contender. Teams like Boston, teams like Miami, Brooklyn, Philly, Milwaukee, these teams are just better. Now, call it what you want to. These teams are better. They have bona fide superstars on their team. Pascal Siakam, as good as he is not a bona fide superstar. He's just not. Fred VanVleet's playing very well. Chris Boucher, I want to give him credit. He needs more time, number one. He's playing extremely well. I got to give credit where credit's due. But this Raptors team, I think, they're in trouble. They're in trouble, man. And I'm going to tell you why. Look at your next game. You're going against the Philadelphia 76ers, who had Embiid played in the last game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, they'd probably be 3-0 right now. This is a team, Philly, who is my pick to come out of the East. This is not going to be an easy game for the Toronto Raptors if Joel Embiid is playing. So that's going to be the measure thing. I want to see how do they do against this Philadelphia 76ers team. Now, let's move on to some other groundbreaking news. Now, I don't know about you, but the other night I was sitting there and I'm watching the LA Clippers get absolutely manhandled by the Dallas Mavericks. A 50-point deficit at halftime. That's the largest deficit in NBA history. 77-27 was the halftime score. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, is this real? Like, is this score They came out lifeless. Now, granted, Kawhi Leonard didn't play. Marcus Morris didn't play. But I don't care. Paul George was on the court. Supposedly he's a star. Supposedly he's a superstar. Supposedly. Serge Ibaka's on the court. Lou Williams, a former 6th Man of the Year. Patrick Beverley, talking all the junk that he talks is there. You all were down 50 points at halftime, but it didn't stop there. You didn't go into the locker room, Ty Lue, Paul George, Ibaka, and all the other guys, you ought to go into the locker room and say, you know what? We stunk it up. You know, we're probably going to lose this game, but let's go ahead and put up a fight. Let's put up a fight. No, you actually come out in the second half and lose the second half. You wind up losing by 51 points. You got outscored in the second half after being down by 50 points at halftime. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If there's any Clipper fans out there that thought this was going to be the year, now that Doc Rivers is gone, so you want to blame it on the 3-1 loss from Doc Rivers, if you thought this was going to be a championship team, get rid of that thought. It's not happening with this Clippers team. Yes, they're going to be good. Yes, I still think they could be the second best team in the West. They will not go any further than the Western Conference Finals if they get there. So listen, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the Raptors? Are they really in trouble? And let's just crack jokes on the Clippers at their expense. I mean, to be honest with you, let me know what you thought about the Clippers getting annihilated by the Dallas Mavericks. Listen, I appreciate you for taking a look at this video. Until next time, make sure that y'all stay safe in the streets. General Hannibal X, and I'm out. Peace.